What's up guys, my name is Mitch, this is Common Garage and episode number 1 of my Honda Shadow chopper build series. So to start off, a few years back, I've always been interested in the whole chopper and bobber style of bikes. I love to watch all the garage builds on YouTube. So a few years back I picked up a completely bone stock 1998 Honda Shadow Ace VT750, the American Classic Edition. Like I said, completely stock. I knew I wanted to bob it out, I wanted to chop the fender, put some big bars on it, maybe, little peanut tank, something like that. I always liked watching the lane split guys on YouTube, and they were kind of my inspiration at the time. So I'll throw up a picture right now of what it used to look like and what it did when I started hacking it up here. But I had no idea what I was doing at the time. I had a little $75 Harbor Freight flux core that I was welding a sissy bar on some galvanized metal onto onto the fender. No idea what I was doing, but it ended up looking pretty good. I had a rattle canned it. Wasn't too bad for what it was. But now, since then, I've gone through welding school. I know a thing more about fabrication, putting bikes together. So I figure I'm gonna start over on this bike and make it right and see what I can do with it. So to start off, I got a little bit ahead of myself. I did some cutting on the bike, cut some of the frame off here. But this is what we're working with so far. There's no going back at this point. There's nothing left of the bike. So the only thing I left on the bike here is I'm keeping the neck, keeping that stock. Got the front side of the frame rail coming down directly underneath the motor, and I chopped it right behind the rear motor mount here. Used to have a big ugly square backbone sitting right up here is the down tube. Got that cut off. I'm going to do a nice single round backbone. These holes here were actually supports going up to the backbone. They're actually hollow in there, which is really weird. But I'm going to shave that clean. I'll patch over, TIG weld it, grind it smooth, polish it up, look like it was never there. I don't think I'll need a support, like a little flange in the neck. I think it'll be strong enough, but that's later in the future. Then moving to the rear, obviously the rest of the whole rear of the bike is removed except for the swing arm. I got all the parts right over here. This is everything I cut. This is that ugly backbone that I was talking about. I know old U750 guys, I know even some of the 600s have a square backbone. It was something like that. You see, that's where the supports used to go. They were right down there, right by the coolant lines. But just look how ugly and fat that is. It's terrible. I had the old tank. You can see where I had my old tank literally just tack welded onto the frame. No idea what I was doing. My old tank's actually right up there. It was just a TC Bros little sporty Frisco mounted tank. So that's that. So this is the whole, that's the left side. Let me grab the right side here. The whole back half of the frame, this is the down tube and everything. Just saws all that right in half. Struts were down there. From this point, cut it all off. Don't need any of this anymore. I'm hardtailing it. It's probably about 50 pounds of weight, which is actually pretty surprising. So then moving forward on the frame, get rid of that. Like I said, doing full hardtail. So I'm doing pretty much about 60% of the frame I'm fabbing, I would say, since I'm leaving the neck and forward rails. But right over here, I have all my tubing I'm using. This is actually the down tube. I'll get to that in a sec. But this is my tubing I'm using for the backbone and for the seat post. It is 1.5" OD DOM tubing with a 1/8 inch wall. So this will be used just like that in there, and then vertical in the seat post. And actually I already have it cut and tack welded up here. And as you can see, I already have it all chamfered and cut out. And to make this little notch, all I did was take some TIG rods, rubber banded around them, slid them on the end of my pipe, and then I went up to the neck, held the pipe up with some, or the tubing rather, up with some clamps on the right angle I want, and push all my TIG rods up and see it kind of forms to the radius that I need. You slide that down, put a Sharpie mark over it, and then just cut it out. And I think I got a picture of that process I'll throw up on the screen. But going back to the frame. So for the rest of the frame, the whole hardtail half of the bike, I'm going to be using 1.25" OD, still 1/8 inch wall DOM tubing. So it's only a 1/4 inch difference, but it looks a whole lot different. And that is actually the same size as the rest of the frame that they made stock. So I will just, I'll put a 1 inch steel slug into the frame rails, have that all set there to do my bends. I won't go over too much about the hardtail right now because I'm gonna do that in the second video. That'll be my next video. But that's what I'm doing for the frame. That's the plans for that. With that being said, I'm gonna go and take this seat post and down tube that I made. I'm gonna tack weld it onto the neck and see what it looks like. Alright, so we got that tacked up. Got a little baby tack on the left side here, another one on the other side. And what I did to make sure that this was centered, I used a square and a level to make sure my seat tube was perfectly parallel, because I already had my angle set here. I knew the right angle that I wanted up here. So now it is completely level, completely symmetrical on both sides. All the way down. Just tacked up right now. Once the whole frame is done, I'll remove the motor, put the frame on my bench, get it all completely welded. Then I'll make a jig for it then so I know it won't warp. Now we got this tank that can finally fit up. This was from TC Bros, little 2-gallon peanut tank. It's got a medium height tunnel, so it sits a little bit lower on the rail. So let me throw this on and we'll see what it looks like. All right, I'm real happy with how this turned out. I like the gapping between the carb. Still remove that, no problem. The stacks. I want to have a nice big gap in between the frame here. I'm gonna move these coolant hoses down eventually. So I want this to be like see-through, as bare bones as possible. But that tank looks good. I like it, nice and narrow. That down tube is night and day difference between that old square one. Look at that. Much better. Can't wait for the rest of the frame to be done. Yeah, guys, I think that's probably it for part one. Next, I'll be taking some tubing and trying to figure out the bends to do my hardtail. And then welding that up and really going from there. Hey guys, thanks for watching the first episode of Common Garage. I know I'm not the best at this yet, but we're here to learn. And the whole idea of this channel is I want it to be relatable to the average guy with average tools, average knowledge on things, with a passion of cars and motorcycles. And we're here to build some cool shit. So, see you next time.